How's it going, guys? Bit of a different video for you today. I decided I would talk about my truck, my 2020 F250 4x4 STX package with the 6.2 gas, 6-speed automatic crew cab long bed. So I've had this truck about a year and a half now. I picked it up with, I believe, either 59 or 60,000 miles. And since then I've put about 27,000 on it. I think actually it might be almost 28 now. So it does get driven a fair bit. It's not like I'm hot shotting with it, so you know, it's not like crazy mileage per year, but I put about 20,000 on it last year. So this is my main vehicle. This is my only vehicle, I should make that clear. So this is my daily driver, and then it gets used for landscaping. So it tows trailers, it hauls stuff in the bed constantly, debris, goes and does estimates. This is my catch-all. Now I know a lot of you will be, you know, maybe a bit against having a full-size truck, but you know, and especially dailying it, because it can be annoying at times. But to be honest, I really don't have any complaints, and it's not annoying or really a hassle to me at all. You know, this thing gets driven every day. I've had no major problems with it. I really haven't done much to the truck itself, you know, filter changes. That's pretty much it. I have put the BF Goodrich all-terrain KO3s on it with the white lettering facing out. It's a little bit of a classic homage to my grandpa has a bunch of old Ford trucks, so decided I'd do the white lettering on the outside like all the classic trucks do, and it's definitely good look. I get the lettering's a little browned. It does get stained, so I tried to clean it, but you know, this is about the cleanest it's been in the past few months, so just hit it with the power washer real quick. So yeah, I did that. It's got a back rack on it, and then it's got an MBRP, I believe 4-inch exhaust, catback, but it does have a muffler. So it's not too loud. You can kind of see it in there. There you go. Stock resonators. So it's got a growl. You know, the 6.2 is a pretty decent sounding engine, and for it to be a daily, you know, I wanted to be able to hear the truck a little bit. So, and I have driven a 7.3. I actually had one on rental one time. I drove the 7.3 Godzilla, and definitely a power difference for sure. Also, that truck was a 2022, so it had the 10-speed auto. But honestly, the 6.2 is not bad. It tows great. You know, it tows my dump trailer full of mulch or my enclosed trailer full of mowers, and does everything I've asked of it. So it's been a great truck. I'll go ahead and show you the interior. Now we are in Virginia, so it is somewhat a salt state if we get bad storms. It's kind of a mix, but I know this is only a 2022, but the frame is fairly clean. Tried to keep it clean. Now, I didn't clean the interior for this video, just decided to make this video, so. Wheel and everything. The interior, it is an XL/XLT. The STX is kind of a middle ground, so it's kind of an appearance package, but you do get the cloth seats. And this one does have the flip-up center console, so it's a bench seat all the way across. But yeah, no complaints. Very, very quality interior. I mean, you know, the doors do make a little bit of noise, but this is all rubber right here. This is pretty much the only rubber you get. The rest is plastic. But yeah, it's done everything I've asked of it. No tears in the seats or anything. It's, you know, it's held up, and we're constantly wearing jeans and being dirty, getting in and out of the truck, as you can tell. It's actually, I did power wash these a few weeks ago, so they're not as bad as they usually are, but usually covered in mud. But yeah, the interior is great. She's a little dusty, but and I have added a suicide knob. That is actually very helpful when you're backing up trailers. Another thing this truck has, which I'll see if I can do it without having to start the engine. This is also key start, not push button. See if it'll let me do this. There you go. It has front cameras and the surround camera. So that is useful. I'll show you those. It's also got some on the mirrors here, which I think is only for the top-down view. There they are. And there's your STX package. You do get the chrome front grille, so it is a little bit, you do get like the chrome appearance package, so the front and back bumpers are chrome and the grille. But I'm trying to look, there's the camera. There's the front camera, one of them. It has one that faces out this way, one that faces out that way, so you can get the front view, which is nice because the front of the truck is so tall. This is stock ride height, obviously with slightly larger tires, but it's like a big brick in the front. So when you pull up to like a pylon at a gas station parking, that's most of the time where I have to use the cameras. You can't see up in front of you. Just hit the camera button, it'll show you can pull up as far as you can. Because obviously the truck, with it being, you know, I think last time I think it was like 22 feet long or something close to that. You do take up all the parking, like every single inch of a parking spot. Sometimes it sticks out too. So like these parking spots here at this parking lot that I'm at, it won't fit. It'll stick out, you know, a foot or two. So, but it's not a bother. I'll show you the back seats. It's also got these side steps, which are nice. Not electric or anything, they just stay there, but honestly, I don't mind the look of it. Yes, I know it's a mess back here. We've been working all week. I don't know who threw this back here, but somebody did. But yeah, the seats and everything are great. Back seats don't get used much. I usually have them flipped up, and I have my storage under here for first aid kits, you know, my Ryobi, and my hand tools and stuff. My electric tools are in there, my toolbox. So yeah, you can flip the seats up and use it as storage, which is nice because it stays out of the weather. And then I use all the door storage for stuff, so marker paint and speaker, stuff like that for job sites, as you know. Oh look, and even a ladybug. Doink. Goodbye. Oh look, it landed on my shirt. Nice. So it is a 45-gallon tank, I believe. So it's either 40 or 45 gallons, or 48. It might be 48. So definitely not a problem with not having enough fuel. The problem is the 12 miles to the gallon this thing gets on average, at least in town. So that's one of my only gripes, but obviously it's a big ass truck, it's a big ass motor. What do you expect? And it is a 6-speed, so it's not as efficient as a 10-speed would be. But I do like the 6-speed, had no problems with it. You do have to lay into it a little bit to get it to downshift, which is, you know, another reason why I love the manual transmission trucks. I'm in the market for one right now, trying to get a 7.3 Power Stroke ZF6 or ZF5, but as a, you know, separate vehicle, because I'm hopefully not going to be dealing this for too much longer. I just don't want to put non-work miles on it, but being able to tow with a manual transmission is a whole lot better. But this automatic does a great job. I'll show you the bed. This does have spray and bed liner, and it has no, as you know, it has no dampeners, so you get that. I know this looks brand new. I actually just put this on today. We loaded a snowmobile up in here like 2 or 3 months ago when we had a snowstorm coming through, and we lifted it and we're sliding it out, and the track caught and ripped this piece off, this piece of trim. So that is one of my gripes, is that's not the design on that, the lip is easy to catch. And I have had, when I'm pulling tarps out, I have had stuff catch on this before, so I don't know. I'm sure they fixed that on the new models, I'm not sure, but otherwise the bed is obviously very spacious, being an 8-foot bed. I have some of my tools back here right now. But yeah, having the 8-foot bed with a spray and bed liner is great. The drop-in bed liner is nicer when you're loading mulch in the back because it doesn't stick, and you can just blow it out with a blower because it's like slippery. But we don't often load mulch in this. I've done that maybe 2 or 3 times. I have built, if you notice, the stake pocket covers are off. I have put wooden walls on this before. I have some in my enclosed trailer, so we use that very rarely when there's a place I can't get a trailer in and out. We'll take this, and it is nice because I've fit 4 yards of mulch in this before. So obviously, I don't know, we really haven't put a lot of weight back here. I did at one point when I first got the truck and I wanted to get more into leaf season. I built a huge box on it, and then I had a 6x8 open trailer that I had my vacuum on, my big leaf loader that you guys have seen in the other video, if you watched it, and it would go up into the truck, and I would just have a little spout that would connect right here when we would get to the job. So that worked, but I don't know, unloading it was a little annoying. I had one of those crank tarps from Harbor Freight. It was like $60, but it really didn't work that well because the leaves would just like slip out from underneath it. So anyways, yeah, holds all my equipment, no problem. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the bed. And again, here's the back rack. I know this isn't part of the truck, but it is nice to have, because oftentimes we'll throw, if we have the enclosed trailer and we can't put material in it, we'll throw sticks, leaves, tree branches, stuff like that back here, and don't want to scratch your back glass. So, and also if you're loading, you know, quads or something, you happen to do that, you don't want it to slide forward and hit your back glass and potentially break it. Last thing I'll note, I know many of you are looking at this and saying, what the redneck hell is that? That beacon light came off of my grandpa's 1997 OBS. He had like a 351 Windsor single cab long bed that he had bought in 96 or 97 to plow his driveway. And he's a very do-it-yourself guy, so he made this custom beacon light that fit in the stake pocket, which the stake pocket that's covered up by my back rack mount. No drill mount, is great, by the way. And then he fattened it up with some electrical tape. He said it worked great, but he never really used the truck. He put a few thousand miles on it and sold it in like 2003, but he kept the light. So we were cleaning out their house when they moved last year, and he was like, hey, want this light? And I was like, sure. So we had a snowstorm, so I had to quickly cobble this together to get this to work, but it does work. I know it's a little redneck, but I'm gonna take this off and do it properly. But yeah, this light is vintage 1997, so pretty cool. But yeah, I just hung it up over the back rack and zip tied it. This is a very temporary fix. So as you can see, I'll open this door. It runs into here, and then I just plug it into the cigarette lighter right there. So, but yeah, probably a fire hazard, but who cares? I'll show you the passenger side real quick, and then I'll pop the engine bay so you can see. This is where my main employee sits, so he has this all configured how he wants it. We have all our safety goggles and stuff and his bandana and stuff here, so not too much to worry about. It does have a Super Duty box, so it's got a separate glove box right here. I just keep some stickers, and I guess I have some light bulbs in there. But yep, very spacious interior, can't complain. That's what you get with a full-size truck. So I'll pop the hood real quick, see if I can do it one-handed. Now I will say, now that it's just come to mind, oh yeah, no power mirrors as well. These are manual mirrors. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. The top half is is power, but obviously this half you have to push by hand. So let me show you the 6.2. I was gonna say, the one thing I actually have had to replace on this truck from stock, one of the few things, was these hood struts. For whatever reason, I literally just installed these like a week or two ago, like 15 bucks on eBay for them, so not bad. But the other ones were shot. When I purchased the truck, obviously, you know, you do your walk around, and the only thing that wouldn't work is I would unhook the hood, and you would lift it and let go, and it would just fall right back down again. So these were shot, the original ones. The seal or something had blown, so it didn't have any pressure. So replaced both of those, and now it really stays up. Now it's a bit of a struggle to pull it down. So anyways, there's your 6.2. Everything's stock in here. Just put a new battery in a few weeks. Actually, that was like a month and a half ago. We were on a snow job and the battery died, so that was fun. She's a little dirty. I try to keep it clean, but it doesn't stay clean forever. So like I said, everything's stock. There's your intake right there. Might put a cold air intake on this at some point, but to be honest, with all the dusty conditions we're driving through, I'm not obliged really to do anything like that. But fuse block is right here. The trailer fuse did pop once, so I had to replace that. It's like a 30 amp fuse. But yeah, so those, I stand corrected, that would be another thing I had to replace, but that might have been my fault. I think something was screwed up with my trailer wiring to begin with. So there you go. So yeah, that is give you one more shot here. She's not clean, not very clean, some watermarks, but yeah, that's my daily 6.2 crew cab long bed. I guess I should get down to how it is to drive. I mean, it drives like any truck would. It's a little bit longer, so if you've driven a single cab, all the extra space obviously is behind you. So from the front forward, or from your driver's seat forward, everything's the same. So if you're pulling into a parking spot, it feels almost the same way. It's just you do have to swing a little bit wider. And I can't speak for everybody, obviously. I don't know what types of trucks you guys have driven. I'm sure most of you have driven a full-size truck or have one. But daily driving it, I'm in Northern Virginia, so kind of in the suburbs, lots of stop-and-go traffic. And you know, if you get into Alexandria and towards DC, it does get a little bit worse, but obviously I'm 30-40 miles from there, so it's not that big of a deal to me. And even when I do have to go there, the only real problem is finding parallel parking that you can fit this in. So yeah, it's a pretty good daily. Like I said though, I'm trying to lessen the it's a plane, I apologize. I'm trying to lessen the non-work miles that get put on it. So hopefully gonna pick up a separate vehicle here soon, and I can keep this truck in my storage lot and just use it on work days. And I might switch to a diesel at some point, but to be honest, this is way cheaper to maintain. Really just oil changes will get you by. Obviously filter change or air filter changes at their frequency, but this truck doesn't need much to stay on the road. I've had one issue over the winter time. That was it's like the fuel pickup in the tank, the fuel pump, whatever you want to call it, has clearly on its way out. So I'm probably gonna have to replace that soon. I'm gonna do some diagnostics and see if that's actually what the problem is, because sometimes I'll go to crank it after it's been running and it sits for 10-15 minutes. Like if we go mow a yard and then come back to the truck to go and start it, it cranks for 1 or 2 seconds longer than it should, which is not a problem. Obviously its engine still starts, but that might be something to be concerned about if it gets worse. So otherwise, I mean, she works good. And yeah, so I appreciate you guys watching. Hope I enlightened some of you. I'm not sure, I kind of just talked about it. So shouldn't use this video as a decision making. If you're deciding on buying one of these trucks, obviously go drive one for yourself and see what you think, but I have no complaints. So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed and at least learned something from my experience, and I'll see you guys later.